The microphone hits the floor. 80,000 voices fall silent. Michael Jackson stops mid-spin, his sequined glove catching the stage lights as he peers into the crowd. There, pressed against the front barrier, a child is sobbing. Not the usual screams of excitement. This is different. Deeper. Desperate. Michael drops everything. The music cuts. The king of pop walks to the edge of the stage and does something that will echo through music history forever. But how did we get here? How did one child's tears stop the biggest entertainer on the planet? Let me take you back to July 16, 1988. Wembley Stadium, London. The Bad World Tour is at its peak. Michael Jackson isn't just performing music, he's creating magic for nearly 80,000 people. Each night, he transforms that massive concrete stadium into something intimate, something personal. Tonight feels different from the moment he glides onto the stage. The crowd's energy is electric, but there's something else. Something Michael's trained eye always picks up on, the faces that need him most. Subscribe now because what happens next will change everything you think you know about superstardom. 3 songs into the show, during The Way You Make Me Feel, Michael spots him. Front row, center. A boy, maybe 8 years old, tears streaming down his face. But these aren't tears of joy. Michael has seen enough faces to know the difference. This child is carrying something heavy. The boy's name is Tommy. His mother brought him here tonight because it might be their last concert together. She's been battling cancer for 2 years. The doctors gave her weeks. Tommy saved every penny from his paper route to buy these tickets. His mom doesn't know about the prognosis yet. But Tommy does. Michael doesn't know Tommy's story yet. But he feels it. That's the thing about Michael Jackson, he didn't just perform for crowds, he connected with souls. As The Way You Make Me Feel builds to its crescendo, Michael finds himself drawn back to that spot. The boy is crying harder now. His mother has her arm around him, but she's looking weak. Other fans around them are trying to cheer the boy up, but nothing's working. That's when Michael Jackson makes a decision that breaks every rule of concert protocol. The music stops. Just stops. The band looks confused. The backup dancers freeze. 80,000 people hold their breath as the king of pop walks to the very edge of the stage. Michael Jackson stops mid-sentence during his song. The arena falls into complete silence. What happens next isn't just entertainment. It's humanity in its purest form. "Hey," Michael says softly into his microphone, his voice now gentle instead of performative. "Hey, little man down there." He's pointing directly at Tommy. "What's your name?" Tommy can barely speak. His mother whispers in his ear, encouraging him. "Tommy," he manages to call out. "Tommy," Michael repeats, and somehow his voice carries perfectly across the massive stadium. "Tommy, come here, man. Come to me." Security starts moving, but Michael waves them off with his famous glove. This is happening. The king of pop is stopping his show for one crying child. The crowd helps lift Tommy over the barrier. Security escorts him to the side of the stage where steps lead up to Michael's world. As Tommy climbs those steps, something magical happens. The crowd doesn't shout. They don't scream. They watch in reverent silence as a superstar becomes simply a human being reaching out to another human being in pain. When Tommy reaches the stage, Michael kneels down to his level. They're face to face now. The king of pop and a heartbroken little boy. "What's wrong, Tommy?" Michael asks, and his voice is so quiet that the microphone barely picks it up. But the front rows can hear. And what they hear is something they'll never forget. Tommy breaks down completely. Through his sobs, he manages to tell Michael about his mom. About the cancer. About how scared he is. About how this concert was supposed to be their special night together. Michael Jackson doesn't hesitate. He doesn't think about the show, the schedule, the 80,000 people waiting. He wraps Tommy in a hug that lasts nearly a full minute. When they separate, Michael wipes the boy's tears with his sequined glove. But backstage, Michael Jackson was making a decision that would shock everyone in his crew. "Give me your mom's scarf," Michael says to Tommy. Tommy looks confused, but he unwraps the small silk scarf his mother tied around his wrist, her way of being with him during the show. It's pale blue with tiny stars on it. Michael takes the scarf and ties it around his own wrist. "She's here with us now, Tommy. Feel that? She's right here with both of us." Then Michael does something unprecedented. He starts singing "She's Out of My Life," one of his most personal, vulnerable songs. But he's not singing it to the crowd. He's singing it to Tommy. About love that transcends distance, about holding on to people even when they can't stay. The crowd is mesmerized. Many are crying now. They're witnessing something that feels sacred. As Michael sings, Tommy slowly stops crying. He looks out at the massive crowd, all watching him with love and support. For the first time in weeks, he smiles. Michael sees the smile and makes another spontaneous decision. He hands Tommy the microphone. "Sing with me, Tommy. Let your mom hear your voice. What happens next will give you chills." Tommy, this heartbroken little boy, starts singing along to "She's Out of My Life." His voice is small and shaky, but it carries across Wembley Stadium like it's the most important sound in the world. 80,000 people begin singing with them. Not loudly, not overpowering Tommy's voice, but supporting it. Creating a choir of love around this one small boy and his hero. But here's the incredible part of this story. The part nobody expected. When the song ends, Michael doesn't send Tommy back to his seat. Instead, he keeps him on stage for 3 more songs. Tommy becomes part of the show. He dances awkwardly but joyfully next to the most famous entertainer on earth. He waves to sections of the crowd, and they wave back like he's the star. During "Man in the Mirror," Michael lets Tommy hold one end of the microphone while they sing the chorus together. The image of the king of pop sharing his stage, his microphone, his moment with this ordinary child creates one of the most powerful visuals in concert history. Near the end of the show, as Michael prepares for his final songs, he sits down on the stage with Tommy. He takes off his famous sequined glove and puts it on Tommy's small hand. It's enormous on him, but Tommy looks at it like it's made of pure magic. "This is yours now," Michael tells him. "But I need you to promise me something. Whenever you wear this, remember that your mom's love is inside it. And remember that you're braver than you know." Tommy nods, still overwhelmed by everything that's happened. Michael hugs him one more time, and this time, when they separate, both of them are crying, but they're different tears now. Tears of connection, of hope, of love shared. Share this video and subscribe if you believe in the power of human kindness, because this story gets even more incredible. As the concert ends and Tommy finally returns to his mother, something beautiful happens. The crowd gives Tommy a standing ovation. Not Michael Jackson, they're applauding this brave little boy who shared his pain and found comfort in front of 80,000 strangers. Tommy's mother is sobbing. She doesn't understand everything that happened, but she sees her son's face. For the first time in months, he looks hopeful. Michael doesn't just disappear after the show. He visits Tommy and his mother backstage. He meets Tommy's mom, holds her hands, and tells her how proud she should be of her son's courage. 3 weeks later, Tommy's mother passes away. But that's not the end of this story. Michael Jackson finds out about her death and does something extraordinary. He has his team arrange for Tommy to attend his mother's funeral wearing Michael's glove. Not as a publicity stunt, the media never even knows about it. It's purely a gesture of love. But the story doesn't end there either. That scarf, Tommy's mother's scarf that Michael wore during the concert, it becomes part of Michael's stage outfit for the rest of the Bad tour. Every night, Michael wears it as a reminder that his platform isn't just about entertainment. It's about connection. It's about being present for people who need hope. Years later, when Michael Jackson faces his own struggles, his own pain, his own media battles, he often talks about that night at Wembley. He calls it the moment he understood what his fame was really for. Tommy grows up to become a music teacher. He keeps Michael's glove in a special case in his classroom. When students ask about it, he tells them it's not about owning something from a famous person. It's about remembering that we all have the power to reach out when someone is hurting. The scarf, that pale blue scarf with tiny stars, is eventually returned to Tommy after Michael's death. It comes with a handwritten note from Michael that says simply, "Your mother's love lives on. Pass it forward." Tommy, now an adult, uses that scarf in his music classes. When he has a student who's struggling, who's facing loss, who feels alone, he lets them hold it while he tells them the story of the night the king of pop stopped his show to wipe away one child's tears. The lesson isn't just about Michael Jackson's kindness. It's about recognizing that every single person in front of us has a story, has pain, has dreams that matter. Michael Jackson understood that his real superpower wasn't his moonwalk or his voice, it was his ability to see people, really see them, and respond to their humanity. That night at Wembley Stadium, 80,000 people witnessed something more powerful than any choreographed routine or special effect. They saw what happens when someone uses their platform not to elevate themselves, but to lift someone else up. But there's more to this story that will absolutely blow your mind. 5 years after that magical night at Wembley, Tommy is now 13. He's kept Michael's glove safe all these years, and he's learned to play piano. His music teacher doesn't know about his connection to Michael Jackson. Tommy has never told anyone the full story of what happened that night. One day, Tommy's music teacher announces that their class has been selected to perform at a charity event. The cause? Supporting children who have lost parents to cancer. Tommy's heart stops. This can't be a coincidence. The charity event is being held at the Royal Albert Hall. As Tommy practices for weeks, he decides to do something that terrifies him. He's going to perform "She's Out of My Life," the song Michael sang to him that night, and he's going to wear the glove. The night of the performance arrives. Tommy is backstage, nervous beyond belief. He's wearing his best suit and Michael's sequined glove on his right hand. As he waits for his turn, a woman approaches him. She's one of the event organizers. "Excuse me," she says, "but is that really Michael Jackson's glove?" Tommy nods, unable to speak. The woman's eyes fill with tears. "My name is Sarah," she says. "I was at Wembley that night in 1988. I was sitting 3 rows behind you. I saw everything that happened. I've never forgotten it." Tommy stares at her in amazement. Sarah continues, "That night changed my life. Watching Michael stop everything for you, watching him show such pure compassion, it inspired me to become a social worker. I've spent the last 5 years working with children who've lost parents." She pauses, wiping her eyes. "Tommy, this entire charity event exists because of what happened between you and Michael that night. I organized it. When I saw your name on the performer list, I couldn't believe it." Tommy realizes that the ripple effects of that one moment are still spreading, still creating waves of kindness and connection years later. When Tommy takes the stage at Royal Albert Hall, he sits at the piano wearing Michael's glove. He tells the audience about that night at Wembley, not for attention, but to honor the lesson Michael taught him about using whatever platform you have to lift others up. As he begins playing "She's Out of My Life," something magical happens. The audience isn't just listening, they're feeling every note, every word. When Tommy reaches the chorus, voices from the audience begin joining in, just like that night at Wembley. But here's what gives everyone chills. In the balcony, a group of children who've lost parents are singing along, and their voices create the same kind of healing harmony that Tommy experienced with Michael all those years ago. After Tommy's performance, those children come backstage to meet him. One little girl, about the same age Tommy was at Wembley, asks if she can touch the glove. Tommy kneels down to her level, just like Michael did for him, and gently places the glove on her small hand. "This glove has magic in it," Tommy tells her. "But the real magic isn't in the glove. It's in remembering that someone always cares about you, even when you feel most alone." That night, Tommy makes a decision that would have made Michael Jackson incredibly proud. He decides to become a music therapist, specializing in helping children process grief through music. The glove becomes part of his toolkit, not as a precious artifact to be protected, but as a living symbol to be shared. Over the years, hundreds of children get to wear Michael's glove during their music therapy sessions with Tommy. Each child learns the story of Wembley Night. Each child understands that their pain is seen, their feelings matter, and they have the power to transform their hurt into help for others. When Michael Jackson passes away in 2009, Tommy is devastated. But he channels his grief into something beautiful. He establishes the Wembley Moment Foundation, a charity that brings music therapy to children in hospitals, foster homes, and grief counseling centers. The foundation's logo is simple, a sequined glove reaching toward a small hand. Underneath, the words, "See. Connect. Heal." Every year on July 16th, the anniversary of that Wembley concert, Tommy holds a special event. Children who've been helped by the foundation perform songs that have helped them heal. The evening always ends with everyone singing "She's Out of My Life" together, creating that same circle of love and support that Michael Jackson created on a stadium stage decades ago. Tommy, now in his 40s, still has the pale blue scarf with tiny stars. It sits framed in the main therapy room of his practice. Underneath it, a plaque reads, "Love doesn't end. It transforms." But perhaps the most beautiful part of this continuing story is this: Tommy has trained dozens of other music therapists, and each one learns about the Wembley moment as part of their education. They learn that healing isn't just about techniques or methods, it's about seeing people, really seeing them, and responding to their humanity with your whole heart. The legacy of one moment of compassion has now touched thousands of lives. Children who never heard of Michael Jackson, who weren't even born when he was alive, are still benefiting from the lesson he taught that night, that true power isn't about fame or talent or success, it's about using whatever gifts you have to make someone else's burden a little lighter. Subscribe and share this story to keep this message alive, because in a world that often feels disconnected, we need more reminders of what real human connection looks like, and how one moment of genuine compassion can echo through generations.